Hello, hello, hello.
Hi, how are you?
We're back and we've got visuals, yo.
Welcome back, people.
Welcome
Bet
back
you weren't expecting this, were
I
you?
know, right? We're now in full HD.
This is what feral actually looks
This
like.
is the awful truth of feral friends. Yes,
glorious
now
truth.
we have a YouTube channel now, so we'd like you all to like and subscribe. Very important. We are still going to be doing the audio podcast as well, but we wanted to let you guys see our beautiful feral faces. How are you? How have you been?
I am, as per usual, still alive, still trucking.
Still trucking. I've invented a hashtag for you that's still,
I know.
Just keep it trucking. Basically. How has your week been?
It has been not particularly eventful, although I did have Monday off. I told you that I got stigmata for Easter, right?
Yeah.
So still got it. I
still got the stigmata.
Yeah, still got it.
So it wasn't like just a temporary Easter thing. You officially are.
No,
like...
I'm waiting for the other parts to appear. So let's see how that goes.
I don't know how I feel about that. Well, I feel like I'm living vicariously through you at the moment because at least you're allowed to go out and do stuff. Like I'm officially now not allowed to have a single person in my apartment after 9 p.m. between the hours of 9 and 5.
We have a curfew though. We do have a curfew. It's at 11 o'clock. So we have to be back indoors at 11.
But you're allowed to have guests back to your house, right?
I think so. I don't really know the rules.
You're a rule maker, not a rule taker.
No, but what's supposed to happen is they're saying that they're going to stop the state of alarm. So hopefully that means the curfew gets lifted and then we can have groups of maybe...
I thought you were going to say
I think it's just one-to-one group sex. Yes, that too. Well, that's a given. But it was, I think we're supposed to be just having one person, but maybe then we can have 6 or 10, which would be nice. But no, it was nice.
I said, group sex.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I mean...
We had like nice weather and everything. So we've been outside on terraces, just hanging out, enjoying the sunshine. Yeah.
Thank you.
Not
it snowed here yesterday. It was heavy snow.
That's filth.
Yeah, it was
absolutely
really
disgusting.
Have you seen that video this week? This is something that's been really making me laugh. There was a video of this Russian news presenter and she's like, wait, and she's presenting like a news segment and all of a sudden this dog just runs up to her and grabs the microphone up her hand and runs away. And she's like,
I love animals.
And the woman in the studio, they're normally when they'd be like, oh, we seem to have some like technical issues, she's just like looking like, yeah, duh, yep. Like no emotion, and then eventually she got her camera back. She got her microphone.
So they had to chase the dog around.
The dog. It was a really cute dog. Well, it was like a Labrador.
That's so funny.
Well, they do say never work with children or animals, right?
Do you know what? Look, at least you know where you stand with animals. They got to do what you expect.
They just want to be fed.
Reliability.
Kids.
They want to play games as well.
Yeah. And kids, like, you can easily bribe animals with food. I mean, you can with kids too, I suppose. But gin also works. So I've heard.
But they also will say things. Whereas a dog can't say anything. A kid will come out. The kid will
be like, he gave me gin.
Literally ruining it for everyone.
Well, don't work with animals or children, and in an ideal world, just don't work. How about that too?
That's the dream.
Here's hoping. Still waiting for it. Did you see the SAG Awards? Nobody watches the awards. Did you see any?
I was going to say I don't watch these things. I feel like the clothing.
People should just say, "Did you see the clothes at such and such award show?" Right? Did you see any of the clothes then at the SAG Awards? Any of the outfits?
What was her name? The beautiful yellowy green. Was it yellow or was it green like neon?
Oh, Viola Davis.
Yes.
It was chartreuse.
What?
That's what it was said on British Vogue.
Really? So is that what they said?
That's what British Vogue said. If Edward Edenfall said chartreuse, I'm going to stick with chartreuse.
Okay.
It was beautiful either way.
It was really nice. I really liked it. Nice proper colour.
And it was the first ever SAG Awards. I don't know if this is the same in every awards where all 4 of the main action categories
I saw that. That was amazing.
By the people, Black people and people of colour. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman won posthumously for, I know it's so sad, for
how pissed would you be? You'd be like, now you want to give me an award?
Right. Seriously, can't take it with you. Like,
how rude.
Yeah, but he won. Viola Davis also won for the same film. Daniel Kaluuya won for Judas and the Black Messiah, and then
I haven't seen that. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. The performance is definitely like award worthy. The acting is great. I found
as good as mine getting across to Berlin. From Madrid.
No, that was like double Oscar worthy. No, it's a good film, but it's a bit slow. I found myself checking my phone in parts, which is not really. Yeah, it was, but it's definitely worth a watch. 100%.
Okay, fair enough.
And then an Asian, I'm not sure. I think she's Korean. Her name is Yoon Yoo Jung. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. One for a film called Minari. Which I don't know. Have you heard of this? I haven't.
No. I heard about her because she won another award recently.
Oh, look at her. Award season.
Yeah, I know, right?
I don't know. I have no idea what this film is. I'm going to check it out at some point.
Always worth a look. Well, it's not like you've got anything else to do. Got nowhere to go. Right. You know what I mean? You should have won Netflix by now.
I feel like I should. If Netflix was a game, I would have beaten Dr. Robotnik by now, 100% at the end of like.
You really should have done
I really would, right?
Oh gosh.
I mean, well, in sad news this week as well.
Why?
I know.
I'm literally like,
what's
the point? What is the point anymore?
Reggae
is anyone?
John Page, otherwise known as the Duke from Bridgerton, otherwise known
I love him.
Beautiful Buttocks, otherwise known as
I love
Sexual
him.
Chocolate, otherwise known as
Fine. I will.
Is leaving Bridgerton after this. He's not coming back.
But why is anyone going to watch it then? No one's going to watch it.
Well,
that was dumb.
Well, apparently his thing, he said his contract or whatever was always just going to be like a one-story arc.
Yeah, they're regretting that now.
They're
literally just like, we fucked up.
Shonda has the power to change this, no? Like, she is like,
do you? If everybody like signs a petition, I'm going to write a strongly worded letter.
Listen, it works. It's worked with other shows like Brooklyn Nine-Nine got kept on after it was cancelled. Like, it does.
Okay.
It can, it can work.
How are the people?
I want to see him box some more without.
Just to see him box.
Yeah, he's also a fantastic actor. Don't cheapen it.
Yes.
But so that's like, it makes me sad.
There's a show.
There is.
Now I'm gonna have to follow the storyline and see what it's about.
Reggae
skipping through to when he appears on screen. So
Reggae Sean Page featuring Bridgerton is what the show should be called. So that is something that made me feel upset this week.
So it's pronounced reggae, not
reggae. No, reggae.
Okay.
I think he's half Zimbabwean, half English.
Whatever it is, it's a beautiful mix.
He's
not mad at it.
He's fine.
I would literally. I want to bite his buttock.
Yeah, he's delicious. We love him. All right. Well, I'm sure he's going on to bigger and better things.
Sorry, I can't get it out of my head now.
I want to spank it. Spank it.
Lovely.
Okay. Let's move on.
Yes. Now. So today we're going to have some educational information for you.
Educational information. Well, no, basically what Ethelbert just poorly explained is because we decided that our spirits can't take week after week of Tory fuckery and denial. We're gonna.
It's not good for the soul.
It's not good for the soul, right? We're going to alternate what have the Tories done now with a new section, a fortnightly section called Teach the Children. I want there to be some kind of like a starlight graphic. So we're going to attempt to teach you something every week about maybe a person you didn't know about. It's going to be Black people and people of color. So if you're looking for Caucasian heroes, look elsewhere. There's enough of them. We know all about them in school. You can take your Christopher Columbus and exit stage right.
We all know.
We all know in 1492 Columbus sailed the ocean blue and then
raped and pillaged
right?
and
That's how that rhyme goes.
Everyone else up.
Exactly. Fucked up everyone's spot. Okay, so the first person we're going to be talking about is Teach the Children. He's kind of a potato bringer, if you think about it, really, because I mean, someone else would have found the potatoes and brought them back.
Walter Raleigh.
Without murder. He was also not very
potato
nice.
stealer.
Yeah, but anyway. Right, the first person, class, are you ready? We're going to begin. The first person we're talking about, everybody, is, can you see this?
Yeah, I can see, yeah.
Perfect. Is a lovely, amazing woman.
face.
Look at her smile, right? This is Claudia Jones.
She's a hero.
She's a full-on shiro. We love her.
I'm so glad that you're actually doing this because I wasn't actually aware of this. I'm so glad it's a woman as well.
I know.
We're always doing everything. You're guys, welcome.
Yeah, no, it's true. Not all men. So basically, let's get into. I've got my notes here. Very professional.
Look at you. So you've got to bang them on the desk.
This is shuffle them. Sir Trevor McDonald.
You've got to do
countdown. Right. So Claudia was born in 1915 in Trinidad and Tobago, which was at the time a British colony. So she was born a British citizen.
She's from the islands.
She's from the islands, Trinidad, where the good roti comes from. Oh, shout out to Trini, we love you.
I miss that so much.
Oh, buttery roti. Oh, delicious. So she migrated with her family as a child to the United States of America, where she grew. Well, she became a member of the Communist Party, and she became like an active member of the Communist Party. She was also an active feminist, and
they loved her there.
Right? You can imagine how that went down, right?
She said what she said. She went there. She was like, "Don't give a shit."
So in 1932, at the age of 17, she contracted severe tuberculosis, which she was hospitalized for, and she was cured, but not really cured, but it basically affected her for the rest of her life. She lived most of her life in like chronic pain, and she was sick all the time, right? Which makes it even more incredible.
Do people still get tuberculosis?
Well, we're talking about, this is in 1932. I mean,
I mean now.
I think
obviously you get the shots and everything in third world countries.
I think it was I think it was actually one of the diseases making a fucking comeback thanks to Tory austerity. I'm like, who am I looking at?
Anti-vaxxers.
No, because it's a disease of poverty, tuberculosis, and along with things like rickets and scurvy, and those things are making
it's not funny. Rickets is not funny.
Are making a comeback because of the Tories. Look, they're creeping into this. No Tories today, right?
Can't creep with rickets.
You're a terrible person. You're a terrible person, and you're just giving me full Stevie Wonder, Ray Charles as well. Right, silence. So she managed to overcome the tuberculosis, and she kept on, being a member of the Communist Party, being active. So because of her beliefs, she was imprisoned 4 times in the US during her stay there. One of the times she was imprisoned in Ellis Island, which I didn't even know was ever used as a prison.
I didn't know that either.
Right? I had no idea.
Doesn't surprise me.
It doesn't surprise me. Claudia Jones is one of the foremothers of intersectionality, the theory of intersectionality. Google it if you don't know what it is. You should. And because of her activities in the Communist Party, in 1955, she was eventually deported to the United Kingdom because the 50s in America was not a fun time to be a communist.
And they were literally like, she's your problem now.
She's your problem now. Did they know. Right, so she arrives in the UK in 1955. She immediately joins the Communist Party of the Great Britain. Fuck you. And she was a lifelong member. Now, this is where she started to fuck shit up, Claudia, right? In 1958, she founded the UK's first Black newspaper called the West Indian Gazette. And that is basically widely credited as being one of the starting points of like a Black consciousness in the UK. This was a paper that brought people together up and down the land. And she helped to raise awareness and bring the children together. Now this is, obviously all her achievements are incredible, but the one that I'm most thankful for is that Miss Claudia Jones is basically one of the people who was instrumental in setting up Notting Hill Carnival.
Right?
Imagine, right? That's your legacy. Incredible, because basically in 1958 there were really serious race riots in Notting Hill. My grandparents were living in Notting Hill at the time, but they were away for the weekend, so they missed the drama. So these riots were really bad. There was violence for days. And Claudia, to use her own words, saw the need to wash the taste of Notting Hill out of our mouths. So to that end, she used her connections to organize like a celebration of West Indian culture. And the first event took place in St. Pancras Town Hall. It wasn't outside on the street. I didn't know this. And it was televised, so the whole of the country.
I'm really surprised about that.
In 1959 they let black people on TV. I'm like, wow.
Well, they probably with the premise of going, look at them,
look how they dance,
look at them dancing
right?
with their delicious foods and their fun.
Oh no, it's far too spicy.
They want to do that,
right? So basically, that was the inaugural carnival, I guess you could call it.
Amazing.
And she then went on to organize another 5 of these indoor events before Carnival finally moved onto the streets in 1966 and became the Carnival that we all know and love. Yes. Now, this is so tragic. She died in 1964, so 2 years before Carnival. She was only 40. She was only 49, so she never lived to see the legacy of what she'd set up move onto the streets and become this amazing celebration. But she died of a heart attack, which was due to the tuberculosis had like weakened her heart, I guess. But I just think that every year from now, so she was an amazing woman, trailblazer. We love you, Claudia. And I think that every year now at Carnival, we need to pour one out for Claudia.
Yeah, have to raise a glass to her. Absolutely.
Here she is again.
I wonder where she's buried.
Do you know where she's buried? She's buried in Highgate Cemetery to the left of Karl Marx. That's where
really?
Yeah.
That's kind of amazing.
That's really cool.
I think she'd be happy there. No, same. So when we go back, we definitely have to go and do that. Anyone else, go and lay some flowers for Claudia.
Yeah, they have actually.
Your respect.
They made a documentary about her life. We'll post some because now we've got YouTube. We can post in the comments box, right? So I'll try and find some more info and post. Also, don't forget to like and fucking subscribe, right? On our YouTube channel. Otherwise, there's going to be violence. I will get Claudia to rise from the grave and slap you, backhand you. So Claudia, thank you, Claudia Jones.
Yeah, I can't even begin to comprehend life without Carnival. I was that distraught that it didn't happen last year, and that was a weird moment. Obviously, COVID and whatnot, and even now they're saying about maybe we'll move it to the park. Absolutely not. Not going if that's the case. If they move
Carnival to the park, I'm never going back to London.
No, absolutely not. And I say this. I'm still going to have the party in Notting Hill.
No, my heart will be too sad. I can't even talk about this as being a potential situation. Let's not talk about this. Let's move on.
Okay.
So this episode's called The One About Us. And
it's all about
us, basically. We're talking about us today. Because this is our 7th episode, and we thought we would give you a little. You've hopefully got the feeling of feral by now, but we want.
So with the grand reveal, so we thought we'd put a face to the name and then just give you a bit more info about us as well.
Right. So Ethbra and I met in 1997. We've been friends for 24 years. Can you believe it?
It's been a while.
Been a while. We met at it was called the Barnes
Theatre Group.
Theatre Group company?
Yeah, it was Barnes Theatre Group.
Barnes Theatre Group, which basically was an amateur dramatic society for young, budding thespians. Thespians to come and put on shows in Barnes, which is the leafiest, whitest place in London.
And both of us ended up there
I don't know. This is what is Kismet, I'm telling you.
It's so funny.
Basically, I found out about this drama group through a friend of mine. And, all joking aside, drama really... We used to call it drama. That's what it was called.
Yeah.
But there was always drama, and then there was actual drama too.
Drama.
I don't want to say it saved my life, but that was at the point where I was having the worst time at school. I had no friends. I was persona non grata, and coming to drama and meeting you, I guess, is the main takeaway from drama.
Get out of it. Get out of it.
Was a really good thing. Do you remember what your first impression of me was? Can you remember? I knew you were going to say that. I know you can't remember what you had for breakfast.
I did. Well, you know what it was? I just remember how skinny you were and how loud you were. And also because I think it was when I
skinny, wait, hold on. Skinny and loud.
Skinny, loud, and also you were a very good actor, but you were fun. And then we did actually bond over our love for Mariah.
We did.
That was wonderful. And your dislike for a certain person, we won't mention this.
Well, we bonded. We basically, the first time I remember my first impression of Ethbra was that I was first of all, I was oh, another black person. Well, the only other black person. And then I was she was obviously holding court. Everyone was attracted to her like a moth to a flame. And I was
stop it.
Fun. And then also I was she's really cool because every Friday when we finish, she goes to the Lytton Tree.
I did not go every Friday. I went.
All right, but
Fridays.
you were a frequent. Basically, the Lytton Tree is like a shitty pub.
But like look, they played garage and they allowed us underage drinkers in. And Maya, you were there. She knows. She was
Maya, our friend with. Maya, Yogi Supreme. She was there.
Yeah,
she was there.
feral times. But yeah, it was cheap and pure filth.
I mean,
but it was very entertaining. So I would be going there. Sometimes I would join you guys for a pub, drink in the pub.
You never came to the Red Lion.
I did go to the Red Lion a couple of times, or the cricket grounds, or a house party.
Oh, well, I mean, I was the new kid, just like in Efka's orbit, trying to get her to like me, basically. Oh. And I think
you didn't have to try too hard.
I know.
I know. We got on.
I know. Well, I think the first time we bonded was over our mutual dislike of a less attractive girl.
What you say it like that? Mo, what happened was, it turns out this person was doing a little bit of a single white female with me, and then a lot.
There was playing every role in that movie.
There was a particular story of her cutting off her pubes, sticking it on a post-it note, and giving it to me as a love gift. We'll talk about that later. So you can imagine it was a little weird.
I remember exactly the first conversation that we had. We were sitting outside the door of the church smoking fag, because she's really cool, 17, and no, it was 16, and you came and you sat up next to, we were sat on this like raised thing, and it was wet. I remember it was very wet, and then you were like, we were talking about this girl, and I was like, she's really annoying, and you were like, yeah, she is, and I was like,
and then there was the other one with the buttery teeth. We were laughing about
yeah, because she had buttery her teeth. There were plaque. There was so much plaque. It looked like she was spreading anxiety. But listen, keep it real, feral.
It was because it was so shocking. It was literally like what's that net brand with the gold, Jerry Gold? It was literally like Kerrygold, and opening something like that, and the light coming out of it. That was what her smile was
like. When you used to get the buttercups and put them on your chin. That's what her, yes.
That's exactly. So yes, we did bond over
but that. We did also bond over a mutual love of Steps, because I remember coming to your house. I think it was one of the first times I came to your house, and I had Steps, Last Thing on My Mind, on cassette. This is when they still had cassettes, everyone.
I've still got all my cassettes, actually.
You stole that one from me.
No, not them. Because you were the one who really loved them. I just like doing the routines.
I loved Steps. The first gay
you were
obsessed. I loved Steps. I still love Steps. What?
Oh, all right.
And I think though that our bond was strengthened like over that first summer of knowing each other, when we both went for the job in this place called Rishu, which was like
it's a coffee shop just in Green Park. They had really good pastries. That was my main law.
Because I didn't get the job.
So you were a joke. They were like,
I had an attitude that day.
You were just like, no. And it was like, yeah, so obviously not. You were just like not into it at all.
The guy had a really bad attitude, the other pastry server guy, and I did not like him. And I was hot and bothered, and so I wasn't giving 100%, let's just say that. And I did not get the job.
But the funny thing was, whilst I was working there, you would come every day after.
Well, that's what I mean.
Bring the rollerblades,
right? That's how.
And then we'd rollerblade back to my house, through Hyde Park,
checking out the boys in Hyde Park.
Pretty much, that was the main part.
Right, I think that's how we. That's when the Sahelu, as they say in Avatar, the bond was made. No, I mean it was one of the. Also, then we used to go out partying nonstop.
That too. Yes.
Because we've set foot. We've been in every West End club, every house party.
You name it, we've been there.
Right. We've always been kind of like.
And if we haven't, it wasn't worth going.
It wasn't worth it because we made the party. We've always kind of been like on the fringes of fame. Like, do you know, we're always at the parties where everyone is, but we're not like the A-list people. In our head, we are. In my head, I am at least.
I always thought I was. I was just literally like, yes.
I mean, ultimately,
hey, buddy. Hey, pal.
We're invited to these parties, so people.
Exactly. So more or less, in our own way, we were.
You know.
Still is.
I think the first trip that we ever went on together was Glastonbury.
Oh my God, that was hilarious. I'll never forget going.
In the year 2000. Well, I remember going, first of all, we had to get a tent.
Yes,
we decided to go in like
rushing.
in 2 minutes. Well, no, I was rushing. You were 15 yards behind me, skipping along gaily up Edgware Road when I was sweating bullets, running to Argos to get the fucking 10.
Well, the
Because we
thing
were
is,
going to miss
because
the coach.
what happened was, before in the old days with Glastonbury, you didn't always have to pay to get in. So we were just, this is before they built
We
the
didn't
super
have
fence.
a ticket.
We didn't have a ticket. So you could just shimmy in through by someone getting you in. So what we did is we were like, sod it, we're going to go. Ended up running to Argos. Neither of us had set up a tent before in our lives,
I
didn't
ran
know
to
anything.
Argos. I'm not letting you have that one.
Yes,
That's just
you ran to Argos. I skipped behind and was like, it's fine, and you were stressing out. So got a tent.
me?
Yes, you can imagine. Got a tent, got everything, and then hopped on. We got the train up, and then on the bus.
We had to get a coach from Bristol.
Yeah, from Bristol.
And it stank.
And everyone just pure filth on it. And so we arrive, and it's at night. So when we get there,
no, it was daytime when we arrived.
No, but when we got through, because remember when he put up the tent, it was dark. We couldn't see.
But you're missing out huge things of the story.
Yes, of course.
We arrived and we had to get in because we don't have a ticket, right? So we're like, basically they used to have like scalpers, I guess you'd call them, along at different points of the fence, and they'd make pay them money and they would dig under the fence and you would just go under the fence. You give them 20 quid.
Not under the fence, but they'd slide it across so you can shimmy through. So they literally forced it across and you shimmy through. But obviously there's security like going all the way around the whole time. All these spots would move because you never know when someone's going to go. So we found a little spot and we were like, yeah, this is great. So someone goes through, pays, and they were just like 20 quid. So we were like, wicked, perfect. Can you imagine now, Glastonbury, 20 quid? Not gonna happen. So that basically what we saw was a hand, and it was like, give the money, and then he slides the thing, and then we're supposed to go through. But we gave him
this. There was a hand, he gives the money and slides the thing.
No, we give him the money and then he pulls it apart and then you slide through. But what happened was when he had the money, suddenly security on the other side that we couldn't see, we just heard a yelp and a scream. And then the arm was caught in the wood with the money. So we snatched that, ran to
the next one.
We carried on running to the next one where we actually managed to get through.
We did get
through. Even after that, because there was another fence we had to sort of fling ourselves over as well.
I don't remember this.
Yeah, there was another bit as well. Wow. And it was like, okay, so that's fine.
So
got through already. And by this point it had got a bit dark. So we were like, we need to find a spot. We're not even supposed to be here. Neither of us knew how to set up a tent.
No.
Actually, nowadays I do know how to do it. Well, you can get those ones that you can throw.
And then you throw it and you try and get it back in the thing afterwards and see what happens.
Left it.
Camping is shit. But we did make it through. We had to buy mushrooms from a man in order for him to put up our tent.
He was just walking by and he's like, well, I'll help you if you buy some mushrooms. So John was like, absolutely.
It's not even like, that's like, you are the losing partner in this deal, mate. Like, seriously. But we had a great time. But
we didn't even see the tent until the last day when we came back, and it was trampled and crushed. We never used it.
It was there. It went to Africa. They send them to Africa, right?
Yeah. So we did our part.
We did our part. It's fine.
Did our part. It's fine. That was
funny. How do you think, or not? Do you think we've changed? Of course we've changed. But how do you think that I have changed over the quarter century that you've known me?
Do you want me to be mean?
I mean, to tell the truth.
You've expanded. I remember when we used to go to...
Did you just say I've expanded?
Yes. Look, your bubbly personality.
My waistline has expanded. It's true.
Otherwise, yeah, you more or less the same. Obviously, you've matured with age and not so stubborn. But, there's a little more give.
Am I really stubborn?
Now. You can be. You can be just a bit, but I think you haven't really changed that much. That's what I like about you, really.
I think the same, really. Like I don't think, well, the thing is, I always make a distinction in my head about like between a grown-up and an adult. Like a grown-up is something I never want to be. So I feel like grown-ups are the baddies in Roald Dahl books. Do you know what I mean? Like Miss Trunchbull and stuff. But being an adult is something I think I've just about.
We're adulting.
At 40, I'm adulting.
You are, yeah, definitely. I'm still sort of working it out.
I don't know. I think I give good adult, but I don't think that really inside there is an adult.
I think that's what everyone's doing, though. To be honest.
Some people, yeah, okay, that's true.
To be honest, I think everyone's adulting. So really, that's fine.
Well, I think the people that aren't adulting are grown-ups. And there you have it. I just explained my thing again. It holds true. It holds true. No, I think as well. That's one of the things that I think probably binds us together. Is like we still have a very fun, carefree way of looking at the world.
Oh yeah, more optimistic, shall we say?
Do you think you're more optimistic now? I think I'm far less. I think I'm.
Oh no, I'm less optimistic.
I think I'm a lot more cynical.
I've been jaded. I've seen things I can't unsee. Burned into my retina.
Jaded us. Yeah.
But yeah, I've also seen a lot of great things as well. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen
like our trips to Ibiza, New York, all of those.
We've seen
that's pure joy, and the things that have happened that we've been exposed to that not everyone has. But I mean, right. I think
we've done a fair deal in our first half of our lives. Do you realize we've known each other for more than half? It's not half.
I'm only a quarter of the way through. I don't know about you.
Okay, well, we've known each other for more than half of our current lifespan.
Yeah, that's true, actually.
Can you see the wrinkles from the
street? No, not with that light.
No, I know.
You can see on mine.
Studio action.
You can see on mine. I need to sort out lights.
Everable will be having her studio lights camera prospects.
It will be better.
It'll be arriving next week.
My teeth look white though.
Your teeth do look very white, but I think that's because the room is getting darker.
It is because it's getting. No, it's finally getting dark at 9 o'clock.
But you do have very pearly white, so do I. Ting. Tell us about your family history, your story. How did you end up in the disunited kingdom?
Okay, so my dad was originally from Ghana.
Ghana!
You can't do that.
Was he
so
from
out of order? No. He was from
up
in the north.
Okay.
And my mum's from Sierra Leone, Freetown, and they met in London at an embassy party.
Ooh, for which embassy? For
I can't remember if it was Sierra Leone or for Ghana. And then they made friends. And then me and my sisters appeared, the four of us.
The four horsemen of the apocalypse.
Yeah, pretty much. I didn't think of it like that.
That's quite a good way, right? But this is what I was thinking about the other day. If you're in if there's four of you, who's the middle child?
I am, no, hold on. So what happened was Abba was a surprise, the youngest one. She came 5 years later.
Yeah.
So technically Nana was for a while, but I feel sick because I
think you have middle child energy.
Yes, diplomatic,
MC
left to their own devices.
Middle child energy,
slightly feral.
Yeah,
it's like, it's still alive. Excellent.
You are like, I think you're unique.
Thanks.
Unique New York.
Thanks.
No, but I always think, what about if there's an even number of you, who's the middle child? If there's 6 of you.
I would say I'm the middle child for sure, because Abba definitely has the youngest. Amma's got the oldest thing. Nana, so Nana. Well, I guess both of us are. Right? Yeah. That makes sense.
I'm glad we cleared that up.
Sure. Excellent.
Anyway,
so we grew up in West London, mainly raised by my mother. Fantastic woman, Princess.
Princess, it's her birthday today. Happy birthday, Princess. Yay.
Amazing woman. So we were in London, grew up, and
I'm looking into your eyes in the camera just now.
Excellent. Please don't. It makes me feel uncomfortable. Like literally without blinking.
Tell me more.
Don't do that. Well, I don't know what you want to know. So we all grew up. We're all quite different, me and my siblings, which but all very strong, funny, loud women. Obviously influenced by our mother. It's just growing up in central London, it sort of gives you a childhood unlike growing up anywhere else, which I wouldn't swap for the world. It's
No,
amazing.
not at all.
It's
Not
fun.
at all.
We've been exposed to things, seen things, had so much fun. Yeah.
You probably also, as a child growing up in London, are exposed to things that you shouldn't really see as well.
I don't know what you mean.
I can remember like stepping over like junkies and stuff.
We lived in West London.
I know, so did I, but they still have junkies in West London. You know, they're just
I didn't see that.
Dressed in Chanel. One of the things that I always really liked about coming over to your house is because I'm an only child. So not that I grew up in a quiet house, but you know, just by dint of there being like 4, 5, 6 people in your house all the time, there was always noise. And as you said, apparently I'm loud, news to me.
You really did enjoy it. You're a surrogate brother.
I know, basically. Right? I just remember we'd always lie in your bed watching the highest TV in the world. Ever had a TV, right?
Look, that was not my. I think it's an African thing where they just. Why do they?
Magella does it as well.
Why are the shelves so high?
Basically, Effa's TV was mounted on the wall, but when I tell you that it was basically where the ceiling and the thing joined together, like up there, it was that high.
The highest point.
And so we would lie in bed like this, like with a cricket on neck for days on end, coming down and hungover or whatever. And then your mum would every so often come in and be like, "Are you still?
You're still here?
Yeah,
Literally, are you hungry?"
And then we would
get up. Do something.
I would go to the shop, get a can of Coke, and then come back, and the party would start again.
Always fun.
Yeah. Well, my family history is also an immigration story. I guess I'm a third generation immigrant, and you're a second generation immigrant, right?
I think I would be first generation.
Is that how it works?
No, secondary. I don't know.
The original people that come are the first generation, right? Or is it?
Okay, that makes sense. So they're first generation immigrants, and then we're second generation.
Or is it that the first generation to be born in the new country? Maybe it's that. I think it's that. So honestly, like you are first generation, I would be second generation then. I think that's how it is. Anyway, whatever. We're from immigrant families. My dad was from Bermuda. And so all his side of the family from that, I don't know them. My mom's
sound like Mariah. I don't know her.
I don't know. I feel like in some ways I'm probably like the king of Bermuda, and I just don't know. Like King
that would
Ralph.
Be nice.
Like if I went back there, do you know what I mean? Anyway, so my granddad was from my mum's parents. My granddad was from Jamaica, and he came to Scotland in the 1930s and studied for a degree in electrical engineering. But then he was seduced by the devil music, jazz. So he started, because he was from a musical background, and then he switched over to playing jazz double bass. And he
my favorite instrument.
Right, it's good. Slap the bass.
And you can stand on it.
You can twirl it around as well. And so he met my grandma in 1943. He was a Jewish Austrian refugee fleeing Hitler. They had a mutual friend who introduced them. They met, they fell in love, they got married. My mum was born in 1944. My uncle was born 20 years later, and then I was born in 1995. Yeah, so it was and I grew up in Notting Hill, which wasn't Notting Hill at that time. It was becoming Notting Hill,
right?
But I think growing up in West London does give you, I think, because West London is like a bubble within a bubble.
Yes, that's true.
I don't know about, like, I as a child, I've really kind of searched my heart to think, is there a time when I can remember being exposed to racism as a really young child, kind of growing up? And for me, at least, in my school, and it just was never, it didn't exist. I heard the word, but I had never had any experience of that as a child. And I think that is in large part due to the fact of, well, probably the school I went to was very right on, but also the area we grew up in is just very...
I think also my mum probably shielded us from it in a way. She sort of prepared us for it, but just shielded us from it. So we weren't, and yeah, I can actually honestly say, the first time I experienced it, I'm not going to name names, still friends on Facebook.
Say their names.
Shame her.
Say their names.
But it was actually by a girl at my secondary school who was a person of color, funnily enough. She said something, and it was just sort of like, well, this is weird. Hadn't had that before. Didn't really bother me. But it was just sort of, that was the first time having experienced it. But that and that was, I think it must have been about 14, 15.
Yeah, I
so
mean, I
all
think
of
the
that up
same.
until that point. And then even afterwards, it was a case of, because I studied in London, so again, stayed within the bubble, and wasn't really exposed to much then, or I just didn't realize it.
No, I mean, it is a special place, London. I mean, I think in terms of world cities, the only other place that's probably as diverse as somewhere like New York. And even then in New York, I feel like obviously multiculturalism, we still have a really long way to go in the
Right.
UK. But the one thing that I notice about London is, like, if you go out to parties, it's mixed, racially mixed, whereas in New York it's far more segregated. Like if you go to a hip hop party in New York, it's going to be predominantly black people.
Mm.
And I think the
Although saying that, Samantha's.
I mean, look, basically that's not to say that the same thing doesn't happen in London, but it
Yeah.
happens to a lesser degree. And I think that is because also of, you look at somewhere like Notting Hill, there are mansions that cost like 20 million pounds, and next door there's a council house. So
And
people
I
are,
love that.
and I
So
love that, and
parties, the
and it should
parties
it
that
should
were
fucking be like that,
amazing,
right?
with
And I think
people
like
mixed all together.
that's why Notting Hill is so special, and it is still
Mm,
hanging on to that character despite the gentrification.
mm.
But it does give you a kind of a, I suppose, quite a broad outlook on the world growing up in London, because you meet people from everywhere, you try food from everywhere, you hear music from all over the world, you're exposed to
Yeah,
so many different cultures from a really young age.
true.
And I'm so grateful that I
Yeah.
grew up there, that we grew up there.
Just the
Like,
thought of being the possibility that it could have been luck of the draw. Because when my mum first moved to the UK, she actually was in Manchester. That's why she's obsessed with the
oh,
Manchester
that's why she
United.
supports Man
Yeah.
U. Okay.
But she was originally there. No offense to anyone from Manchester,
I mean,
but
listen, I went
no,
to uni in
I would,
Manchester, but no.
yeah, and I had a great time when I visited you, but I
No.
would definitely choose that over that.
I mean, yeah. I'm not going to say
Can
anything.
you imagine? Can you imagine?
No. No, I'm just happy that we got to grow up in London.
Thank
Not
you,
to
thank
slag
you,
off the rest of the
universe.
UK, but especially as a Black person, I'm fucking happy that we grew up in
Yeah.
London. And I think we're singing the praises of London, but then it's like, well, why don't you fucking live there anymore? And I think one
That
of
is true.
that's right, you know what I mean? We're like, London,
It's
London,
true.
I live in Berlin. I think
Yeah.
one of the main reason for me, apart from the ridiculous expense of it, the unnecessary expense, because you can get the same things elsewhere that you get in London.
Although saying that, we didn't notice it really until we left, how much it was.
And I remember,
but once you're living there, you're used to it, and you don't realize, and you just deal with it, and it's not a big deal, and life goes on, and you have a great time, and that's fine.
I feel as if I mean, I used to be very much of the mindset of like, I'll never move away from London. Why would anyone ever live anywhere else, than London? And then I think once you go abroad and you experience living in another place, and you are like, oh, hold on,
right?
Things are sunnier, half the price, and you don't have to. Also with London, it's like the constant traveling everywhere. It's like
it is, because I remember when I moved to Madrid, I just saw it's a big village. It's like a big village, but it's terribly convenient. But you do end up getting a little bit lazy because everything's a little smaller. So you're like, oh, that's such a mission. And you remember when you go home. But the thing with London is that I love London. I would love to live there again, but not permanently. Maybe just for like 2 months of the year, because there's so much that goes on. It's constantly changing. Obviously,
I would love to.
That's nice.
I miss the like.
I miss the food. I miss the people. I miss the chat.
Yeah.
Like, I'm sorry, the jokes that you get from people in London, it's something else. And it's just a sense of humor.
But it is
like the sense of humor is amazing. It's funny. You just can't replace that.
It can't be the London chappy.
And I miss some of the sexy food too. Even though we've got good food here.
The main thing I miss is the food. But I don't know. Yeah, I guess I would like to go back maybe for a couple of months a year and just take it, like, go to the theatre, go to amazing restaurants.
Yeah, because things happen. Because I remember moving here and thinking, God, it's like 10 years behind. You could literally go to the future in London and things would be delayed. It's less of a delay now, but still there are things happen first in cities like London, despite whatever you think about it.
Why I mean, the reason I left is because not that I had my eyes open, but I think I was just like, I want to live somewhere else. It's really fun. And I also couldn't afford to live the life that I wanted to live in London.
See, it wasn't that well thought out for me. It was a case of on a whim. It was just sort of, I was bored. I felt like my mind,
like that
I
too.
felt, no, you know what it was with my job? I felt like my mind was turning to mush. And I was just like, right, okay, get out of the comfort zone. This could be interesting. Didn't even think it was going to be a long-term thing. Booked a ticket to come over and did the week and then came back and it was like, okay, well, that's happening.
Okay.
And then it was like, haven't quite left. But I'm a bit silly like that in those things.
12 years ago, right?
It's not 12 years.
It's coming on for when did
it's
you
almost 12. 2009, end of October.
Coming on for 12 years.
Sweet Jesus.
Getting on a bit.
It's been a while. But yeah, I don't plan that far ahead. I'm just sort of like, yeah, sure, that sounds nice.
Do you, I mean, okay, you talked about like the 2-month thing, but do you see yourself ever really moving back full time at home?
No, I wouldn't want to, because I have to say the quality of life in Spain is so much better.
Yeah.
It's a lot easier. And also the mentality as well. It's sort of like you work to live.
That's the reason why I can't go back. I think I would never
holidays.
I would never even consider going back to the UK unless there was a change of government.
That's a huge point right now. Also, I feel like, obviously I'm not there and I have to speak to friends who are still there and family and everything, but it's a case of, I feel like it's changed, like the atmosphere and everything from what I'm picking up. Maybe I'm just seeing all the negative sides in the news and hearing that when people complain about it. But yeah, I'm not sure if it's how I remember.
London will always be home, and I love
it.
And my family is there. Many of my closest friends are there. But Berlin is home now. I don't think, and I always think to myself, we've got 2 homes, and I think even if I think to myself sometimes, like, even if I won the lottery and money was no object, I still don't think I would move home now.
No, I wouldn't move home, but I'd definitely buy a sexy little pad.
Oh, of course, a pied de
terre in Londres.
But I don't. I mean, obviously there are pros and cons of living abroad. I miss the people. I miss, like you said, like
that's huge.
The funny, cheeky, like, overhearing people's comments and shit, that you just random shit that you get from being at home. But definitely living abroad is for me. I love it. It's a bit of me. I feel like it's kind of like a mini adventure every day. Like you kind of exist in this. Not in a limbo, but you're in this kind of in between space, because you're not a native of the place where you live. So some things I think pass you by, but then others you like pick up on. Like, and I just really enjoy living in another culture and like the quirks and the weird stuff. Like, I mean, I was thinking about the most German thing that's ever happened to me.
Oh God,
the other day. And like it just, there was this one time where it's, like, obviously Germans have a reputation for being very like sticklers for the rules and yada yada yada, and it's very true. Like, there was this one time I went to the tax office. I went to the wrong room, so they sent me upstairs to the correct room, right? So I'm going to open the door to go up to the staircase to walk up to the next level, and there's a sign on the door that says, like, please close the door behind you, right? So there's a man coming down the staircase, right? And he can see I'm about to walk through the doors. But instead of holding the door for me or just leaving the door, he literally maintained eye contact, walked through the door, closed the door.
I think he was being a dick.
And then walked through. But the thing is, he may have been being a dick, but I just think he was
following the rules.
Follow the rules. The thing said close the door. So he's going to close the door, and then I can open it. But the
I'm
door
just trying to
must
think
be closed first.
That's funny, but I'm just trying to think of like a very Spanish thing. I guess it's
clapping.
It's the clapping, the staring. They love a good clap. They like to jump and hold each other together in a club. You know what that's about.
Oh yeah,
also,
that's
the
true.
obsession with jamon is hilarious.
Listen, I'm not
like, even if you're vegetarian, but that is quite funny, because it's like, as a vegetarian, I'll never forget. There was one person who ordered a dish of alcachofas, artichokes, and they was like alcachofas, and they said it was I'm vegetarian, And so they brought it out and they covered it in hamon, and they were like, it's ham. They didn't understand, couldn't quite work it out. This was a while ago, though. Now I think
it's good. The food in Madrid has definitely gotten better. And
there's good food.
Yeah.
But what can I say? The very Spanish thing. I don't know.
I also one time I was on a train with my friend Simone. Owner of Taco Brunch Bar. Go there if you're ever in Berlin. It's delicious. Egg and bacon fun. Oh, my watch is going off.
Yeah.
And we were on a train coming back from somewhere, I can't remember where, and it was a really crowded train, but we had a seat, but we could see the rest of the carriage. And there were these strangers sitting opposite each other, right? One guy was sitting there, and then someone got on. And they had like little mini bottles of booze. These two don't know each other, right? But then we were watching, a bit high, and they just kind of like looked at each other, and they did this like banging the thing on the table and like cheersing each other. Total strangers.
I like that though. That's cute.
That's fucking weird. Why?
I think it's quite funny. Look, they don't need to. They don't need to talk about it afterwards. It's just like enjoy your drink until you drink. I do like that about the Spanish. Here they will like talk. Everyone will talk to you if you go to a bar and you're on your own. If you did that in London, people would just be like, "What's wrong with you? You're a killer." Whereas here, people do talk to each other. But not in like annoying, weird, drunk people.
Maybe listen, if you can't spot the annoying drunk person,
it's you.
You are the annoying drunk person.
No, but I like the way that people are very social. They just chat.
I like that.
They're very friendly. But I do have to say
that Spanish people take up too much space on the pavement standing.
Oh my God, that is one of the worst things. So literally, they will have a conversation in the middle of the pavement in a busy street, and then you'll just be like, "Move," and they'll look at you like they'll look at you like you shit in their hand. That I can't deal with. That is annoying. That is a very annoying Spanish thing. Literally, spatial awareness is a huge problem. You know it's like they like to get into your personal space. I've adapted to that.
I never adapt. Like no. On me, but I think that is also a thing here with German people, that they have. The British, and I will toot my nationalist horn here, are the only people on earth with a good sense of spatial awareness. And that is something to be proud of. We've got blue passports and good fucking spatial awareness. All right. But yeah, no, that's that's a small complaint really in the grand scheme of things. I feel sometimes clever for living abroad, like as if like we've got a secret that no one else knows about.
No, do you know what I caught myself with this? When you're traveling to other places, especially around Spain, it's just like, oh, don't want to go where all the other Brits are going. It's like you are that person that no one else wants to see.
No, but that's why I said it when we were talking about.
I want the authentic experience.
I don't want to go to Benidorm. Sorry, I don't want to be.
Yeah, well,
I have one.
I don't want to see them.
One British friend here. Sarah. I have one British friend, and the rest are maybe they're English speakers, but they're not from the UK.
That's true. Isabella.
Because otherwise,
hold on, there's more.
You have a few, but I think again it's the same.
I can't remember that.
Next week, Ethelbert apologizes to her UK friends.
Oh my God, I can't remember. No, hold on. That's what. No, I don't think
you've got a few. You've got a few.
I don't think so.
I think I'm done talking about us now.
Okay, yeah, me too. I'm over it.
I'm over you. I'm over everything. But so also the new segment this week.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
I feel like, what's that film with Mark Wahlberg? What's it called? The Happening, where the plants get revenge and kill everyone, the trees.
Oh,
and they start going.
He has not aged well.
That's because of the homophobia.
Yeah, and all the other weird shit he's done. He's disgusting.
But that's what the people do before that, and then they start stabbing themselves in the neck.
Oh yeah, I would do remember that.
New. Right, so we've got a new segment, which is called Feral Facts.
Feral Facts.
Right?
I'm going to find out some feral facts.
So, Effie, your turn. I found out the feral fact for this week and next.
I'm going to do the feral fact next week. It might be gross.
This one is gross. That's the whole point. It's feral, So this week, children, are you sitting comfortably? Sit down, hands on me. We're talking about chickens, right? Obviously, chickens lay eggs. Newsflash.
Why are you trying to ruin shit?
Chickens, but listen to this, chickens lay eggs, they urinate, and chickens don't have urine. Their urine is dried white paste.
This is your fact.
This is the feral fact. No, way.
This is just weird.
So chicken urine, eggs, and poo come out of one hole, the same hole in the chicken, right? This hole is called the vent. Which to me sounds like the name of like a horror film. Like,
do you know what?
The vent. Right. Wait. So the eggs, the poo, and the wee come out of the vent.
Now, you wanted to talk about film wee. Oh my god. Okay, my fact is not going to be like this. Okay, I'm just warning you.
No, this is gross. You said your fact was going to be great. Right. Inside the chicken. So there is the top track and there is a bottom track, right? The egg comes down the top track and everything else comes out the bottom track, right? As the egg comes down to be laid, it enters a chamber called the cloaca. Now,
you really looked into this.
Yeah, no, it took me 5 minutes of Googling. Cloaca is the Latin for sewer. It's also the word for sewer in modern Italian. I spent some time there. Right. Why? And inside the chicken, as the egg is being laid, the cloaca turns itself inside out to protect the egg from getting fecal matter on it.
Well, that's considerate of
right?
them.
And if you see shit on an egg, it's not because the egg came out and got covered in shit. It's because the mama hen. No, it's because the mama hen trod in her own feces and then swiped it on the egg afterwards.
Are you trying to put me off eggs?
Huh?
Trying to put me off eggs?
I just think that people should know about these things. Cloaca.
Yeah. You just like saying it.
Cloaca.
That was
cloaca. It's a sewer. So you're
going to be stuck in my head now. I don't care. Eggs are delicious.
Next time you crack an egg, you're going to hear cloaca.
Such a moron. I love it.
Well, that's the feral fact. So, you know,
it is a feral fact.
That is feral. That's feral as fuck. So,
and now it's stuck in my head. So thanks for that.
Maybe that can be the new
No.
penis.
No.
Would you, if you had a penis, would you put it in someone's cloaca?
Probably.
Not a chicken's
People
cloaca.
like to stick
I'm
their
not saying
bits
about
in things, lots of different things.
People do, don't they?
Yeah, I'm sure. Look, like, yeah, if guys were really honest, they'd admit that they put their penis in places it shouldn't have been.
When you know what they say about the Welsh, that's probably racist, but you know,
that's so out of order.
That they're sheep shaggers. Well, listen, anywhere where there is a high density of sheep and not...
I don't think it's just the Welsh. I think it's so anyone in a field.
I think so.
Left to their own devices.
Shepherds, like, in general. But nobody says about Joseph and his sheep shagging proclivities, do they?
No wonder she couldn't get preggers. She's
right? Like, oh my God.
He's always with the sheep.
We just solved the Bible.
You're welcome.
At Easter, we did this. Yes. All right, well, that's the end of the show.
It's been fun.
It's been fun. Remember these faces, destined for greatness. We'll be back. I want to put like a ding effect on the two. I don't know how to do it.
That would be
we'll work it out. We'll be back next week with more feral friends.
And better lighting.
And better lighting. Speak for yourself.
Yeah, you look amazing. It actually looks really good. I'm impressed. I'm excited. I want it to be so powerful that it's literally just my tiny little eyes and teeth. And like holes for my nostrils.
Like the childlike empress in the Never-Ending Story. Her face seemed to be radiating light to me. Google it.
Okay.
Never.
I'm gonna have to look that. I have a vague image.
And she was like, "Oh, Bastian." Oh. Yeah. I love that film. Never-Ending Story. It's the best film ever.
I haven't seen that for years.
Oh my God, you need to rewatch.
It's good stuff. I think it's actually aged well because I remember seeing something else, The Dark Crystal, and that. No,
I fucking love The Dark Crystal.
No, what's the one with David Bowie?
Oh, Labyrinth.
Yeah, that didn't age
well. Magic dance.
That didn't age well for me.
Really? I haven't seen it in years. No.
Yeah, don't watch it because it will ruin it. Just stay with the memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And on that note, I would like to remind all of our listeners and viewers, all 20 of them, to stay feral. And we will see you next week.
It's been a feral time.
It's been a pleasure.
See you. Bye.
Mwah.